Se le doy un papel por un beso de tu boca, dos caricias te daría, tres abrazos que demuestren cuatro veces mi alegría y la quiero.
오늘의 퀴즈. 이 동작의 공식 명칭은 무엇일까? 페이너로.
Lanzamiento de carga. Lanzamiento de carga. And bachata essential techniques only 16 techniques, so you guys done like 20% of the techniques done with this combination. Yeah, it's very efficient. So what we have.
하지만 이건 음식을 소개하는 바타타 상식 영상으로 각 테크닉의 정확한 수행 방법은 선생님들께 제대로 배워야 한다는 거.
So I go, I'm gonna push the floor, and I'm gonna grow all the way up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Volume 5, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1.
I'm gonna breathe up, I'm gonna push it down, and I'm gonna relax to my limit. To go up, the hip, I'm gonna push the floor, open, and it's always up and down and not lateral. You need to push the floor to go all the way up.
Down, and you put the hip out, chest in, and you open. This is called Kaido technique in bachata essential.
1, 2, 3, and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Look. Bolero. E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Relax.
The heart of the bolero. Bolero is this one.
The bolero is a style of dance,
4.
and it's very drifted.
So we use this technique whenever we change the direction, like this way, this way.
Yeah, whatever we prepare, we need this.
You mean
Yeah.
The first one, the first part is here. Completo. Understand? Completo. Alright, see. You check everything have more preparation, okay? Paseala. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rompo delante. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want with R. Rompo delante. 1, 2, 3, 4. Completo.
1, 2, 3, 4, combo 1, rompo adelante.
1번 콤보.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8. 1.
Pinza. E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. Pinza. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Basic. If you want, pinza, slide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Y hago doble culito y ca, ca.
Un eclipse del mar.
Kike.
Okay, contra. 1, 2, 3. I can go up to start the contra down. 1, and 3, and 5, and 7, 8. Do the cambre, whatever you want. You know all this movement. The same.
Siento que fallaste, baby, te equivocaste. No quiero estar solo.
Eight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. Push the hips, you a little bit, keep the balance on left. 1, 2, 3, stop. 5, 6, and now you follow.
Que dos caricias te darían de saber.
This is also the basic movement bachata sensation. This is called lanzamiento de cadera. Bam, boom, bam. Basic way of doing lanzamiento de cadera starts with this hip motion.
And I start the lead. First option is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is 5, 6, 7, and 1, and 3, and 5, and 6.
Buscando mil maneras de no ser de nuevo lo que siempre fui. Y ya no quiero ser. Desde que yo.
Head rolling 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Y 1, 2, 3, y 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, and 3, and 5.
Vienen los golpes por parte de arriba. clap, 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 clap. Tinkin, tinkin, ting, can, 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 can. Básico.
Oye, solo pienso en una.
Preparo y hago delante y media. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Te vi ayer, no me quieras despedir. By Wednesday you love me the way you should be. De momento me robaste hasta el aliento olvidarte. I guess I'm just a stranger for your love.